Welcome Strategy Battle Gamers to another GBHL YouTube video. You're here with 4th choice GBHL Thomas, and here today we have...
Damian O'Byrne.
Damian O'Byrne, or what were you doing this weekend though? What were you introducing yourself as?
Roving reporter Damian O'Byrne for the GBHL channel at the Desolation of Stockport tournament.
Excellent.
That was me.
That was you, the guy behind the camera.
Indeed.
So why are we here today, Damian? Well, I want to see your army, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's what you've been doing.
It is.
So I've got a little script that I've got to ask you some questions.
Okay.
So I guess the first thing to ask is what did you bring with you to the tournament?
I brought with me a roughly Battle of Five Armies themed army of Hobbit good models.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Thorin with the open shield on a pony, leading 10 warriors variable with axes or spears and all with shields. We've got Legolas with an elf cloak and armour, leading 9 Mirkwood Rangers, and we've got good old Bilbo Baggins with Sting and the ring, of course.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
So do you want to just give us an idea of how you got the models to this state? Because look at them, they're not how you buy them out of the shop, are they?
They're not how you buy them out of the shop. What a strange, what a
Strange
selection of words.
It's weird, I'm trying to concentrate on zooming in on the models. I can't ask a coherent question.
Well, Thomas, the way I got the models to this state was I'm not overly keen on the Warriors of Erebor models because I think they look quite ragtag, and I think they're meant to be when the dwarfs are fleeing Erebor rather than when they're in their full glory. So I really like the Grimhammer models. So what I did was I took the Grimhammer models as a base, and as you can probably see on a few of these, removed all their double-handed weapons. I put Warriors of Erebor shields on, and I drilled through the hands to put the spears in or axes in their hands to make these guys Warriors of Erebor, and it's cool because it gives them a more uniform appearance, I think, and I really like them, really happy with them. Took a long time, but I think worth doing.
Yeah, and they look like the high defence models that they should be, and maybe the Erebor ones that look a bit low defence.
Yeah, it's very strange that the Warriors of Erebor have got defence 7 and the Grimhammers have got defence 6 when the Grimhammers are clearly far better armoured than the Warriors of Erebor. Yeah. It's a strange little blip, I think.
Cool, and there's one more other subtle conversion in your army that maybe not everyone notices.
Oh, on Bilbo. Yeah, on Bilbo, this is it's a brilliant model. I really, really like it. You don't see a lot of it about either. Because everyone paints the Escape from Goblin Town one, I think. And yeah, I've done a little base with some of the stuff from Radagast's base. He's got the spires on, but the log, if you look at him at the moment, his face is looking out at you, and if you look at the GW version, his face points down because if you glue the log on, it makes him point down. So the log's been tipped back so that he's on an angle, but of course you then green stuff it so it doesn't particularly look like he's on an angle, and it allows you to see more of the face of the figure. And also the hand is actually the hand from the Escape from Goblin Town Bilbo, and it's that Sting, because on the Finecast one, the hand holding Sting and Sting itself, it's more Sting actually, it's not hand, but Sting is comically huge. If you actually go and look at it again on GW, it looks like it's thicker than his arm, and it just looks really, really big. So because I assembled the Bilbo as the walking stick one from Escape from Goblin Town, I was able to get that hand and put him on there. I'm really, really happy with it, and it was a lot of fun to subtly convert and build and put a lot of time into the base. I'm really, really happy with him as a model.
Yeah, that's a lot of attention to detail on that one model. Okay, so you've talked us through what you brought, obviously, but what are the kind of tactics with this kind of army?
Well, I went for it primarily out of a fluff reason, rather than because I thought it'd be overly competitive. I've really liked all the Hobbit models that came out, most of them, and I wanted to do a kind of Battle of Five Armies theme for the whole of this year. And this was the first one where I took a kind of hero basis of that to the Mansfield tournament. But this is the first one where I really had the chance to get some troops done. So I painted all these guys in the last 3 weeks, so it was cool to use the new toys. And yeah, it was built more out of fluff than out of competitiveness. Wanting a warband of elves and wanting a warband of dwarfs. I also, before I put Bilbo in, the plan was actually to have cringe before I say it, but Alfred leading some Lake Towners, not because I wanted Alfred, but because I wanted a warband of men, and he's really cheap. So for essentially 65 points, I think it is, you can get Alfred and 8 Lake Towners, something like that. and so that was the original plan, but they was just never going to get them painted.
Now, you've said that you were going to drop Bilbo, but actually, is Bilbo quite good?
Yeah, well, having found it, you know, as I say, I took it for fluff reasons, but actually found that it was a pretty competitive list. The whole army makes some nice synergy. We have the Defence 7 front line and the elves behind them. So you get the elven cloaks, mean that the enemy can't shoot at your elves, who are very, very weak in, you know, Defence 3. And they, if they want to go through them, they have to kill Defence 7 dwarfs, and meanwhile the elves are shooting over the dwarfs with Legolas, making a lot of damage. But yeah, Bilbo was then the kind of, well, I haven't painted my Lake Towners, I've got 65 points, what's kind of cool and fluffy, and a bit Battle of Five Armies-y, and I put Bilbo in, and I thought he'd make a nice companion for Thorin as well. But as it turned out, he's actually very effective. No one takes him. I've never seen a... Have you ever seen a Bilbo Baggins points for a kind of tournament?
Twice, because Owen Wright also took one.
Owen had him in the same tournament, didn't he?
Yes.
He had him on a pony.
Yeah.
The infamous Bilbo on a pony, where when Bilbo puts the ring on, the horse vanishes.
That's right, strategy battle gamers. Bilbo's ring can make his pony vanish.
Absolutely. Rules as written for the win. So yeah, but I think before, I'm not sure why both me and Owen decided to do it.
No, people have taken Gollum before.
Yep. But you rarely see him, and it's because he is overcosted. He's quite expensive for what you get. I think we worked out he's 20 points more than he should be. But for 20 points you get the ring, because the ring's free.
Yeah.
And young Bilbo, is immune to the bad effects of it.
Which is really good.
Yeah, so essentially for 20 points, you're paying 20 points for that bonus. And yeah, I found it's actually incredibly effective to put, particularly these guys, as Fight 6 heroes, because whenever if he's wearing the ring, and there's no downside to him wearing the ring, whenever he's in combat with someone, he halves the fight value of them. So whenever a monster or a hero tries to get one of your guys, particularly Thorin, who's my leader, even if they strike up to 10, heroic strike up to 10, Bilbo then goes into combat with them, halves their fight value down to 5, which is less than Thorin's. And that did me really well over the whole weekend. Bilbo was the man of the match in some games. He won some games for me, particularly actually in the last game against Chris.
Yeah, so I guess if you've got Fight 6 heroes that you compare him with, then you can take anything on.
Yeah, you can take anything, because the most they can get up to is 10, and you'll half it down to 5. And that's before Thorin or Legolas even struck. There was a really fun little tidbit actually, where playing against James today, where he bat swarmed into Thorin, which halves Thorin's fight value down to 3, and then Bilbo went into the bat swarm. It was an enraged bat swarm, so he had a fight value of 4, I think. Then Bilbo went into the bat swarm, taking the bat swarm's fight value down to 2, so Thorin was winning again. And it was a real kind of tricky to keep up with the maths of it. But yeah, he's surprisingly effective, I think. I think I might well bring him along to other tournaments.
Now, did you find with the Mirkwood Rangers, A, that their shooting was effective, and B, that you could use their special rule to full effect?
The shooting, yes. Having 500 points, investing 250 points in heroes, and still having 9 elf bows was fantastic. With Legolas, you've essentially got 12 elf bows, and the 100% bow limit was really good. It helped in some games more than others. But the sheer amount, if you can get them to a good position where they don't have to move, the sheer amount of 3s, because they hit on 3+, you were rolling, was fantastic. And strength 3 bows as well was very effective against cutting anything up to defence 5 down. They were good. They were good in several games. They were very good against Alan, which was where I was playing blockade. He had to walk towards me, and I was able to whittle down quite a few of the warriors as he came towards me. The special rule. Not so much, because people don't charge them with 2, because they have to be outnumbered for it to happen. So people understand that. So you're better off putting 1 into them. At which point, if they've engaged them all, you don't get a lot of chance. So it was a very desperate game against Steve Crow, where the Rangers were charging into 2 Fountain Court at a time to get the special rule. It's really risky, because if they don't win, they die.
Yeah, especially when it's Fountain Court.
Yeah, and but it was more just to hold them up. It was in seize the prize and need to pin them in place. But yeah, so they were definitely good. But I think people are wise to it. People know, and you don't really want to be chucking them into combat. So special rule didn't actually come up that much. And the one time it did actually was I can't remember who I was playing. One of the very early games. It was against Lewis Applin, and he heroic combated onto 1, so he had Malbeth and 3 fighting 1 ranger, and I had the higher fight value and I was laughing, so I rolled the 4 dice thinking I've got this, wasted a might point and rolled a 3 higher. So I think that was the most effective a ranger was. I got him up to 4 attacks, and before people comment, that's because the GBHL FAQ said it's up to 3 bonus attacks, which is possibly out for contention. Yeah, and he didn't do anything with it.
Yeah,
good
so
fun.
Is it Tariel? Does she have unlimited?
Tariel's unlimited.
Okay, yeah. Cool. And also, you're not used to using axes, are you?
No, I'm not used to using any of this stuff. Like coming from the kind of Feral Uruk-hai, that kind of army. Like having shields, having the option of shielding, having the option of piercing striking, having the option of like kind of fight 5. It was really, really interesting. Very different kind of dynamic to what I've been playing with over the last year or so. So it was really good fun, really enjoyable, nice, fun army to use actually. A nice break from the sort of things I've been playing with.
Excellent. Any final comments you'd like to say? Because obviously I could ask you where you predict you finish, but we've already had the tournament.
We have already had the tournament.
Hence why eagle-eyed viewers will notice that we're not actually in Stockport.
We have come home. We're back. We've had a 3.5 hour drive. It was really good, and we just got rid of Sam Page. He's off, and we immediately got back on the camera to film more content for you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a great tournament. Really, really enjoyed it. There'll be more of that in a minute. I don't want to kind of repeat stuff, but cracking weekend. Really enjoyed this, and very much looking forward to more tournaments with this Throne of Skulls, with more. Watch this space.
And if you're confused by the Twickenham backdrop, if we actually pan round here, you'll see that Damian doesn't actually have a purpose-built gaming room
yet. But
that is where the famous Amon Hen battle report was.
Oh, it is, yeah. Someone was saying on the YouTube video, I really like your Amon Hen, your gaming room, wasn't it? Yeah. It is in fact the lounge with this dining room table moved into the middle of it. But yeah, that's where it happened.
There you go. Okay, now for the tricky bit.
Absolutely.
Remember to comment, like, share and subscribe. Support your hobby. That is the right way around.
It's so smooth.
Yeah.
And happy strategy battle gaming.